5. Other kids. I sat in my cell, trying to ignore my rumbling stomach. I hadn't had anything to eat since that morning back when I was free in the forest with my dogs. I thought about them then. Was Nosy able to pick up the scent? Would Sunrise be leading the pack now that I was gone? Was Tiny able to keep up? I missed them. It was dark outside now, and I could no longer hear rocks being smashed. Then come the sound of many feet shuffling across the floor downstairs. A child speaking in low, tired voices. Would I be put to work like them? I had to escape this place. I heard footsteps on the nearby stairs. Constantly, I slipped into the shadows at the back of my cell, but it was impossible to hide. A small group of kids appeared in the corridor outside, sloshing all together, along together. They stopped when they saw me. That's her, whispered one. Her hair is crazy, said another, and her clothes are weird and covered in patches. I felt like telling them how they looked themselves, screwy and undefined, covered in dirt and dressed in rags. I heard she didn't speak, only howls at the sky. What's her name? Asked a boy with big brown eyes and floppy hair. About my age. I said nothing, just stared at the kids in front of me. Had they been here the whole time? Had they been stuck here for 4 years? The boy stepped closer. I'm Rufus. I thought about answering. Those kids were prisoners like me. They might all be from towns like mine. They might have all fled in the night like I did. I wanted to know how long they had been kept here, and what was actually going on at this place. But I wasn't ready to trust anyone yet. Trusting without thinking was what had led me here. I just wanted my dogs. They were the only ones I could trust. I turned and howled at the window. Wow, said a little girl. She really is an animal. Rufus shushed her. Don't be rude. He turned back to me. Maybe that's how she communicated. Let's see. He gave a little cough to clear his throat, then opened his mouth to attempt a howl of his own. It came out all struggling and weak, and the other kid laughed. I crouched deeper in the shadows so they won't see my eyes. They were teasing me like some kind of freak. Teasing me. I had been right not to trust them. A door slammed open down the hall. What all the racket? Come, boldly shouted. The kids took off in a hurry, scattering back down the stairs. I wondered if I would soon be as thin as they were. No, 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 I told myself. I'm going to get out of here. I smelled food. Fresh food. Baldy arrived outside my shell, holding a piece of hot bread and cheese. My mouth watered. He peered through the bars and held out the plate to show me. Here's what everyone else is getting, he said. None for you until you start talking. It made me so mad I tore the rope and leapt at the bars. My hand shoot for the food. Baldy jumped in surprise and dropped the plate. He tried to cover his fright by scowling as he bent to pick up the food. You are not doing yourself any favor, Wolf Girl, he said. He quickly walked away. I snagged back to the floor and lay down in the dark, trying not to think about food. All I wanted were my dogs. Where were they? 6. Crossy Roads. Nosy led the pack along the road, following the scent of truck exhausts. To him, the trail was as clear as a line drawn in the dirt. They had been running for hours and were all panting heavily. Where is she? Asked it for the 5th time. We will find her, growled Sunrise. Tiny yelped with determination. We're coming, Gilwyn. They pushed on throughout the heat of the day, only slowing down to lap up water from puddles. When evening finally fell, the cooler air was a welcoming relief. Nosy ran out into a clear area where the trail got all muddy, seeming to spread in different directions. Sunrise growled. What's wrong? Too many smells. Barked Nosy. Different path ahead. I don't know which way to go, muttered Nosy. He began sniffing around, moving in every wider circle. Sunrise joined in, carefully combed the ground, searching for any clue. Let's help, said Tiny, staring up at Brutes. Fine, said Brutes. You look high and I look low, said Tiny. Together they sniffed and sniffed, all around the crossroads. They smelled rubber and farms and earth and forest. They circled until they began to smell themselves. Maybe we could try splitting up down the path, said Zip. No, growled Sunrise. We stayed together. They sat down and panted for a bit, while Nosy ran up and down the path. Maybe she wants to be with the two legs, said Bruce. She couldn't leave us, yelped Tiny. They are her own kind, barked Bruce. That's enough, snapped Sunrise. We are hers. She's ours. We are a pack. Sunrise walked up to Bruce and looked him square in the eye. When Garen found you, you attacked her, but still she fed you and accepted you. Bruce bowed his head and retreated away. We must find her, said Sunrise. Suddenly, Noisy gave a loud bark from down the path to the right. What? Called Sunrise, racing ahead of the others. Her hair, said Noisy, perching happily around a single brown hair. As the other rushed over to the single strand of hair, Noisy was already further down the road. I can smell another, he said. He barked, and another. Come on, yelped Sunrise. Let's find Ewan. The other barked excitedly, and they took off into the night.